when I was recently trying to glue up those couple of slabs that I flattened, I had a problem where I just couldn't get a good straight cut on my joiner with a thinner cut. I was having problems, so I figured it was time to do an alignment on it. And I went online and I didn't have a good straight edge, so I found this one from Peachtree Woodworking. Actually, I bought it through Amazon because they had the free shipping. It's a 50-inch aluminum straight edge. Supposedly it's machined to be within 0.003 inches of straight. So it looks like it should be a good thing for setting up machines with and stuff. Here you can see it's kind of like a dog bone shaped piece of aluminum. It's got the nice flat machine surface on the bottom there, and it actually is wide enough that it will stand up on its own. And I have no way to verify the straightness of it, but I'm pretty sure it looks like it's a good nice machine finish, so I'm just gonna go with it. And there you can see so first thing I did is I tried setting it on the joiner as it was. Brought the tables up level there, and I could see that the outside end of the input table had somehow sagged some, and there's a piece of shim in I think the point of it was about 15 thousandths, and you can see there's probably about 18 thousandths of sag in the outside end of that table. Now I set it up 4 years ago when I got it, and I've been using it since. And I also do set lumber on there when I'm planing it and stuff, so I'm not sure if that could have sagged it out or whatnot, but it was time for an adjustment. Now there are these little collars, eccentric collars. There are 4 on each side of the table there. 4 of them are for the in-feed table, and 4 are for the out-feed table. So I started, there they are. You just have to loosen the set screw, and then you can turn them to make adjustments. Now I started by just checking the out-feed table to make sure that was actually parallel with the joiner, the cutter, and that was all set up good. And then I had to go back and adjust these. I wound up adjusting these outer cams on the in-feed table, and I didn't have a spanner wrench to turn it, so you can see I just used a pair of pliers. And I have to tell you that this does take quite a while of fiddling to get everything right. And there you can see that's how it did come out good in the end. But as you loosen one, you have to do the front and the back one. I wound up loosening the one nearest the this edge of the table here, and then as you make a slight adjustment there, you have to actually level the table back up with the outfeed table and stuff. So I didn't go through the whole process, but I can tell you that it does take some time to get everything and fiddle with it to get it pretty much perfect like I've got. Now, all along I've been using this 6-foot ruler straight as a straight edge, and I just put it up against that Peachtree straight edge to check it out. And actually, I was pretty amazed how close it was to straight. That was probably no more than 5 thousandths off. So then I just decided to, just try a couple pieces and see what the results were going to be. And this is just like a 8-inch piece of ash that's about a little bit over 4 feet long. And I just did a couple of fine passes, and I could pretty much hear now that it's taking an even cut all the way along. It's not giving me a taper anymore. And I found out with that slab, it's easy to squeeze together some 1-inch boards to clamp them up if they're a little bit, not perfectly straight. But when you're dealing with a 2-inch slab with bark, you don't want to crush. You got to go pretty easy on it. They really do have to be good from the beginning. I just did a couple passes on here, and also you can see that the dust collection is working pretty good, and I'll get into that next. But everything kind of fed smoothly and sounded like it was going good. And then, when I got done with it, I decided to just go back and just check it, just to see what it looks like against the straight edge there. And I could see that there was a very slight bow in the center of it there yet. It just wasn't quite exactly, it was really close, but it just wasn't quite exactly perfect. There probably was about a 1.5, maybe a little bit more thousandths bow. So I decided to just go back and see if it might have been stress in the wood or something. So just do one of the edges on there, and then I actually did the same thing with another board just so I could match it up and check them. So it was getting a nice even cut all along now, no more tapering or anything, so that's a good thing. So I'm really close. And then again, here it is. I put the straight edge on there, and I'm actually seeing about the same amount of dip in the middle there. Not quite perfect yet. Now, the easy way to see this is I took a flashlight, turn off the lights, and just run it along there. And you can see where the light shines through is where you have a slight gap, and there it goes. It's it's right in the middle just a little bit. And there you can see it was with the two boards that I jointed. There was about the thickness of two pieces of paper in them yet, so that still was not right. And with the clamp on there, you can actually pull them together like that. So you see it does disappear, but when you loosen the clamp, you can see they're not perfect. So I went back and checked everything again, and I found that I had the outfeed table maybe less than half a thousandths above the cutter. When I set it up with the aluminum straight edge, I didn't want to nick the straight edge, I think, and I just had it so it wasn't quite touching the straight edge. So I went back with a piece of wood and I set it up, and I just checked every carbide cutter on there and stuff, and played with the adjustments a little bit until I got that outfeed table. So it definitely was perfectly in line, and you just barely nicked the wood with the cutters on, all the way across the head there. Took a little bit of fiddling around though, and so now I figured I'd give it another try, and I took those boards and just kind of ran them over again, and actually I set them side by side, and there you can see this time it's actually perfect. So just that little couple 10,000ths of an inch above the table being high actually caused some of the problem too. So now I'm very happy with the way it's set up, and it should be good for another 4 years. But in the meantime, you can see I did clean out my dust collector filter, which I'm going to show you in a second, and my tools actually are working a lot better. The dust collection is working a lot better on them since I blew the filter out. So that last video I kind of showed you that you can see there's dust all over the front of it. It was building up excess pressure and blowing dust out around the seams and the clamps and stuff. And there you can see that flapper that cleans it. Even though you turn it, it only cleans the top section of that filter, and it really doesn't do that great a job. And you can see on the bottom section there, it just fills right up with dust. Now when I first took it off, I slammed it on the floor, and there's a pile of dust that accumulated under it. So I decided it was time to take it outside and blow it out. Been a couple years since I've done this, so I knew it was going to be a real messy job, and I'm not sure what it does to the filter. I know I try to do most of my blowing from the outside and just use an air gun and go up and down the pleats there and try to clean it out. Now you can see I do have on a dust mask and actually a full face shield there that I'm trying to keep sealed up against my shirt there to keep the dust out, because this is like the nastiest dust that you could possibly breathe. It's just that fine stuff that's been caught in that 1 micron filter, and it just gets airborne and it goes everywhere. So I blew it all around from the outside, then I went back in and I tried just blowing air in there to get the rest of it to come out. And I went over it a couple times and probably took about 20 minutes till I finally had it blown out clear. You always want to try to blow mostly from the outside in though, so you don't force the sawdust into the filter. And I'm not sure that this is any, really helps the filter. I think it does reduce the particle size that it can handle once you blow it out like this. So there it is, all cleaned up, and just kind of time to put it back on, and you can see I'm completely coated with the sawdust from it. So every couple years you got to do this. Now I'm actually thinking that I may want to look into turning this into a 2-stage system with a dust deputy someday. I've seen many people do it on YouTube videos and stuff, so probably that'll be a future project to try to help keep this filter a little bit cleaner, especially with the finer sawdust from like the thickness sander and stuff like that. I just thought I'd share this with you. It's just a couple of little shop maintenance things that I've been putting off and had to be done, and I finally got around to. Thanks for watching. Please subscribe.